mean,
shit, you're too drunk to do your Roni dinner.
no, I'm doing the Roni dinner.
God damn it.
I'm doing the
I
Roni.
might pass out, so don't get your hopes up.
I mean, I'm doing the Roni. If he's up, I'm doing it.
He's staying the night at my place.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Uh-oh.
Welcome to the Kill City Cup. I got the world by the balls.
Spooky Lou, another wonderful WrestleRoni for me and for you. Willie, I'm hungover. We finally got the Outlaw, Willie Storm. We've tried for months, a belated birthday present to myself after a wonderful birthday that we'll discuss. Willie Storm's here. How we feeling, Willie?
I'm feeling a lot better than I was about an hour and a half ago, I gotta say.
What'd you use for a pick-me-up?
What was it? It was a lemonade? Dr. Pepper. Yeah, it was Dr. Pepper and then lemonade and then just anything cold that I could get a hold of was helpful.
I bounced back pretty good myself. We was pretty wasted last night. What a wonderful night in Morgantown. Tell me about it, Willie Storm.
What a night, dude. That crowd was insane.
Yeah.
From get-go, they loved everything, and we tried our best to give them a pretty good show.
Dude, I love Morgantown. Every show I've been at Morgantown, they're receptive. They're nice. We had one crazy lady right there at the end of the show. I think you were around
about
for that. You weren't? Okay. Yeah, we did have a crazy crackhead saying her son was in our U-Haul. We even told her to look in the back of the U-Haul. It was a wild night. I just now remembered that. It just came back to me.
That's wild. I think at that point I was up at the bar itself.
I made my way up there eventually.
Yeah, you did, and then we made a scene in there.
What did we? What did we do? Oh yeah, what the fuck happened? Somebody was airplane spinning somebody.
Yeah, Marcus Twist, that airplane spin? No, it was a Gannon airplane spin somebody with Marcus cheering him on and making a big scene, and then when you come up, we all was hooping and hollering at you too.
But yeah, this fan tries to forearm Gannon, and Gannon's a nice dude. He should have just knocked him out, but instead he made the best of things and put the dude on his shoulders, spun him around, and said, "I'm a strong boy. Don't fuck with me."
Yeah, it was funny. It was Casper getting excited.
Casper, that's a WrestleRoni fan in the background, I hear.
Absolutely, he's also my new tag partner.
Wait, I thought last night was the debut of Paparazzi in RSW. I think he might even be behind your head.
I think so too.
Look at that.
Here, baby.
We were so glad to have you. What a debut, sir. Congratulations.
My pleasure.
How cool was it?
Had the time of my life, man.
Oh, as did I. As did I. Willie, what can you tell the folks at home about the match? The footage will be released very soon. But what can you say without giving it all away?
I could say that almost every time that I've wrestled Logan and Trevor, it has never disappointed me because it's just a fight. Every time we go in there, it's a couple buddies just hitting each other as hard as we possibly can and trying to knock each other out. It's really fun.
Hell yeah. All right, you mentioned buddies. Let's go down that road. Tell me about meeting Logan Taylor.
Okay, so I met Logan Taylor probably 16 years ago.
Jesus.
We were it was a long time ago. We've been pretty much, we've been buddies pretty much since elementary school. And then he was actually closer with my brother for the longest time. And then in high school, he started doing the wrestling and stuff and training and trying to get me to go with him. And at the time, I was just like, stubborn and was like, I could never do that. I could never, go out there and actually wrestle and stuff. And then eventually, me and him just got really, really close here recently, probably within the last 4 or 5 years. So yeah, Logan's a good dude.
No doubt. And you all knocked it out of the park last night. What a match.
Buddy, we had a bit of a statement going into it, me and Logan. We were like, man, we want to make everybody here just remember at least our match tonight. I'm
Right.
sure they remember all of them, but we really wanted them to remember our match because we wanted Papa to look really good.
Mm-hmm.
But we also wanted to get everybody that was involved into something. Like we wanted to like use Zeke and just everybody we could.
Right on. Yeah, Zeke added a nice little element to things. It was a fun time. Did you watch any of the other matches last night? Because, man, you had some competition.
Yeah, I watched the main event with Jason and
Vance.
Tim. Yeah, Vance Desmond.
Woo!
I watched. Was it MV Young? Who did he wrestle?
Yeah, Brandon St. James. My God.
I watched that match. That was really good.
Yeah. Marcus and Duzan was a fucking crazy banger.
I wish I would have gotten to see that. I was in the back doing something, probably going like over stuff in my head and like trying to remember everything.
Right, I got you. And Billy and Lawless was a fucking crazy one too.
Yeah, Billy is always really, really good. He's another type of cat entirely.
Oh man, just hitting a next level every single time, man. Good shit.
Every single time.
Good shit. But yeah, we can agree we had a good night. We all feel a little rough today, but that's okay. Dude, I have been busy. Like, I'm sorry I was a little late to you. I've been getting so many messages and footage. I just edited Jeff Paul versus Gangrel Hearst match hitting the channel tonight.
That's
I won't hear
awesome.
that name in my house ever again.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, Papa got a little history with Jeff, huh?
Oh, too much.
Oh yeah, we've delved down that path. My goodness, you guys are ridiculous. What can we expect? There's a PWL show tonight. I assume you guys aren't going to be on it since you're chilling.
Yeah, there's no way we was gonna make that tonight. Those shows were just too far apart. We had too much of a good time last night, and it was just not on the table at all.
Let me tell you, the
I
party did not stop once we got home, baby.
No, it did not. Party
We
never
kept on
stops.
rolling.
When you party with the Cowboys, you party until the break of dawn, pretty much.
No doubt. I was up pretty late, transferring files, editing, putting my dork ass up on Facebook. Fuck, whatever, you know.
Yeah, it was a really good time. Marcus last night walked by, I remember at one point, and was just taking sips of people's drinks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just taking people's drinks and just taking sips of them. I do not know how many people he got. I know he got like 3 or 4 though.
He was feeling himself, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
No doubt. We might have to call him here in a minute, but we'll talk to Willie Storm about Willie Storm right now. Are you going to be at the Monongah show?
I don't think I'll be at that one because I think that's the same day that Jeff and Gary are running back to back.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm going to be on both of those shows. So
Nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
So
it'll
tell the fans about that. Obviously, you've worked back-to-back shows. I'm sure you've even done one-shots. What's it like working those shows? So what was like the craziest back-to-back shit you ever had to do?
probably when I was reffing, dude, I had to ref like 9 and 10 matches at a time by myself for Mega Pro Wrestling all the time.
Right.
It was so bad. It wasn't bad because like I couldn't do it because I obviously could. It was just a lot on my plate specifically because I'm the only ref there, and working for Coop was a wild little adventure.
Why?
just it's chaotic. It's so much chaos everywhere. It's not just Coop though. It's just wrestling in general. When you're like that early into your career, because I was reffing, pretty much a month into my career, I started reffing.
Okay.
And it was just a lot to take in all at one time.
I'm sure, no doubt. Then you're hitting the road, you're wrestling. Let's delve into you're wrestling here one night, what wrestling there the next night. What do you feel like that next night before going into a match?
Usually rough, depending on who I wrestle though.
Right. What was like the most extreme circumstance? You got your ass kicked the first night, and then you got your ass kicked the second night.
Probably. So I wrestled at Mega Pro Wrestling actually. And I wrestled a guy named Johnny Blast. I don't know if
Johnny
he's been brought up on here before, but I wrestled Johnny Blast. Casper's having a ball back there, and he beat me up pretty bad. And then
This is Willie's episode. Stop, Casper.
We're gonna have you on next week, Casper. I promise.
we drove all the way. Me and Logie drove all the way from Marmette, West Virginia, all the way up to Connecticut to wrestle a show for Tim.
Okay.
And we wrestled 2 matches on that show. I wrestled in a battle royal and made it to like the final 4 of that battle royal, and I think that's even on the channel.
Yep.
And I got pretty much destroyed at the end of that, and then come back out later on in the night and it was like an 8-man tag match where I teamed with the Unappreciated, and I can't remember who the other guy was.
But you teamed with the Unappreciated, huh?
Yeah, at that time, Tim didn't know exactly what he wanted to do with me. Yeah. So he was just like seeing what fit. And he put me with the Unappreciated that night. And I think that's the only ever good experience I've had with Logan and Trevor at the same time.
There you go. I'll have to dig that up since you mentioned it.
Yeah, because but with that being said, I got murdered in that match.
Did you?
Yeah, we wrestled Gannon Green, Corey Sparks, Brohemoth, and a guy named Scorpion.
Okay.
And me and the guy named Scorpion started the match out. I don't remember too much about him, but I do remember I eliminated him, and then after I eliminated him, it was Gannon came in, and Gannon hit me with something, and then tagged Corey in, and when Corey came in, I was in for it. He kept suplexing me. I lost count how many times he held on to me and suplexed me a good 10 times. And then he tagged out.
Wrestled like 3 times already.
Yeah, and then he tagged out, and Gannon started. No, it was Brohemoth started throwing me around after that.
I gotta find this. I'm digging it up.
Yeah, at one point I just look up at Trevor and I'm like, "Fucking come in and help!" Like, stop him. And finally, Gannon gets in and hits me with a jackhammer and pins me. It was an awful experience as far as like going all the way up there and then just getting tossed around like that and having to drive all the way back. I was just not feeling good.
But you know what? You persevered, and in Morgantown, you won a battle royal. You won the Fuzz Fest battle royal in front of one of those Morgantown crowds. How'd that feel?
It felt pretty good.
I loved it. I got goosebumps. I was like, Willie gets his fucking due. Let's go.
Yeah, I've been wrestling for Tim for a little bit now, and it meant a lot to me to, finally get a little bit of something at RSW, even if it is just winning a battle royal or whatever. But
well, let me tell you this. Let me give you a
recently.
little bit of a, sorry to cut you off, but I'll give you a little bit of inside scoop into that battle royal, if I would. Tim discussed it with me. He was like, who do you think we should have win? And he gave me the names. And I said, Tim, who deserves it? Who's been busting ass and not getting the credit for it? And he said, okay. So, I didn't know who he picked, but you won. So, I'll just tell you, that was the reasoning for it, possibly. That was my suggestion, so props to you.
Well,
go on with what you're saying.
I appreciate you suggesting me. Do you know the inside scoop to why I wrestled twice that night.
Why? Oh, no. You tell me, please.
So Tim comes back to the locker room after the battle royal, and he says, "Hey, I need you to do a double tonight." And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." I said, "Who am I wrestling?" He said, "Scotty." And I was like, "Okay." So, we get ready for the match and everything, and I go out there, and Tim, in his mind, had already planned out what he was going to do well ahead of time. And this was the reasoning.
Oh, the whole reason for the match was the song at the end?
Yes, sir.
Jesus, Tim, come on.
He made me wrestle twice just so he could rid me at the end of the night.
Just so he could play that stupid country song. The one about gay stuff, gay men.
Yep.
You know what it is.
It's funny.
I don't know what it is. It's popular,
It's
though.
funny how often you get people making those sort of jokes about me, Logan, Johnny, and Papa because of the cowboy stuff and the movie Brokeback Mountain and all that.
Yeah.
Every single show somebody says something like that. Every show. It never fails.
I'm sure. Give me some examples of interactions with fans, good and bad.
The only really bad interactions that I've had with fans have been people that weren't necessarily on good terms with me anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so people that I'd already made mad before or something, and then I come back out and I'm doing my goofy outlaw bullshit and being a jerk to people, and you know how drunk people get sometimes.
Right. Okay, well, what about the good ones? Tell me a good story.
I have a lot of good interactions with fans, though. Specifically, I want to shout out one kid. His name's Wyatt. He has dwarfism, and him and his mom is at every single one of Coop's shows, every single one of Gary's shows. I always see him, and he always comes up and he's dressed up as a cowboy, and he takes pictures with us, and I get videos of him all the time singing our theme song. Wyatt is truly one of the sweetest boys in the world, and I hope to God that someday he ends up doing something with wrestling. That way me and him can work together and do something. That'll be really fun.
No doubt. Props to you, Wyatt. I'm about it.
Wyatt is such a good kid, dude. And he's one of those kids that you can make fun of when you're a bad guy, and he doesn't care. He takes it in stride and he'll make fun of you back.
Okay.
So I have a lot of fun messing with Wyatt when I'm being a heel. I'll come out there and I'll just try to go for a high five and then just keep raising my hand on him, and
I don't know if I've seen Willie Storm the heel. Tell me about Willie Storm the heel. Who could hate Willie Storm?
You have seen me as a heel because I wrestled Frat Daddy as a heel in Pennsylvania, and you recorded that. Specifically, I remember that because I shoved you during my entrance, and I think I ruffled your feathers a little bit.
No, you didn't. I loved it. That was now that you mention it, it's all coming back to me. That was my first night running camera for RSW.
Yeah, it was.
So it was cool to get an interaction. You didn't ruffle my feathers.
That match hurt.
Well, yeah. Hell, Frat Daddy came back last night. You see that?
I did see that. I'm trying to stay away from him as much as I possibly can because I don't want to get hit again.
He's a maniac, dude. I remember that, and I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. Watch it on the channel. It's an oldie but a goodie.
Yeah, I think you uploaded it at the end of the WrestleRoni Awards.
Okay, yep. That's where you can find it if you watch the stupid ass WrestleRoni Awards. I'll tell you a match that I know was special to you because me and you talked about it before and after. Let's go back to Mannington recently in your match with the great Benny Conley. What can you tell me about that day?
Okay, so me and Benny, my first interaction with Benny was probably, I don't know, maybe 7 months into my reffing career. And from the get-go, Benny kind of took a liking to me and was giving me a lot of advice and trying to help me with certain aspects of stuff. And then eventually that led into when I started wrestling, Benny was getting in Jeff's ear and was like, "Hey, I want to work with Willie. Hey, I want to work. I want to do something with Willie." And Jeff eventually agreed and let me and him tag for a little bit.
Okay.
And that was fun. We had like 2 or 3 matches as a tag team.
Nice.
He never officially came up with a name for us or nothing, so I started calling us the Two Handsome Devils in posts and stuff.
Nice.
It was really funny, and I used to do the tape. I would tape my fingers up like Benny, and I'd mock him on the way to the ring and try to act like Benny.
Okay.
And that eventually ended when him, Jason Kincaid, Tyler Jacks, and who's that other one that hangs out with him all the time? Youngblood? Johnny Youngblood?
Yeah.
They all attacked me after a match I lost. Actually, that match was with SNS.
Oh,
I lost
yeah?
a match. Yeah, it was me and Benny versus SNS, and Jason and Tyler Jacks and Johnny Youngblood was all at ringside, and they attacked me after because I lost, and they didn't like that too good. Benny went on a little speech about how he was positioning me to take Youngblood's place in the Three Birds, and then they just was like, "But it's not going to happen anymore." And then I got hit in the back with a skateboard and then beat up.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm learning today. Okay. I think it's before my time. And let's go into that. How long you been doing this?
So I started officially training, what was October 2020?
Yep. Sorry.
Yeah, it was like October 2020 is when I started training. I refed for about a year and probably 2 months after that year.
Okay.
And then I ended up wrestling a battle royal for Gary Dameron as my first match. It was the Bash at Beckley. The first ever match I had was in front of 2,000 people.
Hell, okay. So you're off to the races at that point. We're getting ahead of ourselves, though, because we skipped the Benny match. Let's go back to Mannington. Yeah, and then that's how we do on Roni, baby. We're jumping around.
I'm jumping around everywhere. But,
no, I'm doing it. It's my fault. It's all on me. It's all good. Let's go back to Mannington. Well, you have his history with Benny, and it sounds like a match was being set up. Did you have a match with Benny before the one in Mannington?
No. What happened with that was it eventually led to a 6-man tag where I had just joined the Cowboys.
Okay.
They were pushing, us as like the new stable or whatever. And in order for us to have a proper 6-man tag match to establish us, they put us with the Three Birds.
Okay.
And we had a fun little match there. And at the end of it, those dirty sons of guns all gave us low blows, and then we beat them, by the way. But
But y'all got hit in the dick after.
Yeah, sore losers and stuff and such. They even stole Logan's heavyweight title belt that he was holding at the time.
Dirty bastards. I love it. So let's get to Mannington. We're at Mannington. The match is finally happening. I know you was excited. You told me. What was you thinking? How'd the match go?
The match went well. I was really nervous going into it because I didn't want to mess up and I didn't want Benny to be mad at me and stuff. But we go in and pretty much the match goes exactly how me and Benny had hoped it was going to go. Nothing really got super, weird or wonky. And at the end of the night, the crowd, was chanting and cheering for me and not for Benny. And that was the goal because we were kind of worried that they were going to take Benny's side because he's more established.
Right on.
But they did not.
What do you think draws the crowd to you? You get over wherever you go.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I think it's just being myself. I think they can see that I'm not really putting on a persona or nothing. I'm just going out there and having fun and just being myself.
Right on. We're talking about having fun. Let's talk about the fun we have backstage. Tell me about the backstage atmosphere at your average West Virginia indie show.
So it's weird because it's not the same everywhere.
Okay, go into that for me.
Down south towards Bluefield and PWL and that area, it's like a family still, but it's not the same as RSW, where you go up to RSW and everybody is hanging out and telling stories and laughing and joking. There's never any problems up at RSW with people being mad at each other or anything like that.
Right.
It's a completely different ball game anywhere else in the state.
Really?
Anywhere else that I've been, yeah, there's tempers flare up, people get mad.
You've seen a lot of that, huh?
Yeah, there's not always like fist fights or anything, but there's, sometimes people do get a little bit upset.
I'll be damned. See, I gotta say, like you said, RSW, everybody's just a big family and everybody's talking to everybody, having fun. I've been to VCW where it's a little bit of a tighter ship, but there's still that fellowship and everybody loves each other. Great group speech before the show, huddle in the locker room, Beastman hypes them up. It's really cool. So VCW, I gotta give props to. The no-ring deathmatch scene, those guys are pretty fucking cool. I haven't run into any troubles, but you've been around.
I mean, I've not necessarily ran into like a whole bunch of trouble with it, but I have had like interactions with people in the locker room where I've like been like, that guy, doesn't seem like he wants to be here, or doesn't seem like he wants to be fooled with or talked to.
Now, let me ask you this. Has there been less of that the more that you're in the business and the more you're known and respected?
Yeah. Which I gotta say, I was opened in pretty, like, with welcome arms pretty much, thanks to House of Rage and all those guys. Papa actually, probably a week or two into my training, like, he just pulled me to the side and was like, "Hey, I know you're struggling right now." He said, it's rough. He said, "You just gotta keep going." He said, "No matter what, just keep going." And that kind of stuck with me a little bit, and I took him like literal and just would not stop no matter what. And I made it through the rough part of the training, which was learning bumps and running the ropes and getting used to that stuff.
Right.
That was what was killing me.
So how long was it you're training, you're reffing? Now let's go into the first match. You're finally wrestling. How was that?
So that was probably, I think it was August 7th or August 6th in 2021.
Okay.
And I'm pretty much going into this with no experience whatsoever outside of reffing.
Okay.
Like, I have battle rule like experience as far as like training battle rules and training matches and stuff like that, but there's nothing like actually being out in front of people wrestling.
Okay.
So that was a wild experience. I remember having like a panic attack backstage.
Oh yeah, was that bad?
Yeah, and people like coming up to me and being like, "Hey, you're good. You'll do fine." And we went out there and had a pretty decent battle royal. There was a lot of things that could have went wrong but didn't. There was a lot of excitement for it, and the fans is up for it pretty good. And then at the end of the match, Colby Max ended up eliminating Noah Ray in order to win that. And the fans really at the time was into Colby. They loved Colby. They still do.
Right.
So yeah, that was a really fun experience for my first match.
No doubt. What's been your peak? What's been the pinnacle? Your favorite match, favorite moment so far?
A couple come to mind.
Okay, let's go through them.
The first one obviously is the match with Benny. To have that match go as well as it did, and like to have Benny backstage, after the match telling me like everything was good, and still giving me advice, but not really having a whole lot to like critique or anything.
Mm-hmm.
That was really special, because I know that if Benny didn't believe what he was saying to me, he wouldn't be saying it, and he was putting me over pretty big on that. So that was really cool. Then another match that was really special to me was and I think I've talked to you about this before, but it was the 6-man tag, Gannon Green, Journey Burke, and myself versus the Murder.
Oh, that's such a fun match, man.
I love that match. That was my first time getting to work with Billy, Duzan, and Evelyn all, and not a thing in that match went wrong. Not a single thing. It was so perfect.
And the crowd ate it up, and it's on Shoot Masters, and I love Shoot Masters. Like, I'm so proud of those, and people watch them and love them. So
I was so happy about that match. Actually, one of my most like viral clips that I have came from that match of me hitting the package pile driver on Duzan.
Good, hell yeah.
Yeah, that got like 20,000 views on like Instagram and TikTok and like Facebook. It went everywhere.
Shit, yeah, good.
That was really cool. And then another like really special match for me was getting to wrestle Shane Storm, Noah Ray, and Seth Martin at ASW in a 6-man tag with the Cowboys.
Oh, okay.
That was another really cool one.
What can you tell me about ASW, working with Gary Dammer and ASW?
It's something. Working for Gary is a different experience entirely because everywhere else you go, you know, everybody is around everybody all the time, and you know, we're all family and whatever. ASW, there's so many names that get brought in. It's a completely different vibe. Like anytime you go into that locker room, you're always trying to learn. You're always trying to get better. You're always trying to like talk up the vets and see what they can teach you or show you or anything.
Yes.
At least that's how it is for me, because anytime that I get the opportunity, I'm going to try to take it, you know, to like get better. And it's really, really cool. A really fun experience from ASW was the first ever interaction that I had with a legend was with Jerry Lawler.
Okay.
I asked him what the secret to his punches were, and then he told me, buddy, the secret to my punches is that I just hit people.
Yeah.
And I that cracks me up to this day. I can't think of it without laughing.
Yeah, and that's so cool that Gary brings these guys in for you guys to, you know, rub shoulders with, get the knowledge, and it just helps the scene, man.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Jeff started to bring in a lot of guys.
Yep.
Tim's bringing in a lot of bigger indie names and stuff that I've seen recently. Like MV Young stuff, I've not really seen him around too much around here.
Right.
But he's you know, doing stuff for Tim. That's really cool.
Tim, I gotta say, has always had a knack for finding those, you know, next guys, the indie guys. So we're really blessed right now. Got a lot of good guys.
I'm telling you right now, Duzan, Billy, I'm sure there's a lot more, but those two in particular they're so ready for TV that it's not even funny.
Yeah.
They're so ready to just be out of independent wrestling that it's, you know, they are going to be big, big, big deals sometime.
I like it that they are RSW, and you have to come to RSW to get your Billy Knox and Brother Duzan.
Yeah, I mean, Billy's been a couple places.
Yeah.
He's been down PWL and stuff.
Yeah, but RSW is Billy Turf.
Yeah, and it's so cool getting to, like, be friends with Billy and just, like, talk to Billy and stuff, because Billy you see in the ring and Billy backstage are two different people.
Oh, isn't it?
It is such a, like, weird, like, dichotomy there.
Yeah.
Because, like, Billy backstage is such a sweetheart, dude. He's just so chilled out and sweet and just trying to, like, help everybody do whatever they need help with, you know. And then you flip that switch on and he's Billy Knox and he goes out there and he kicks people's teeth in. You know, it's wild. It's just crazy.
Listen, that switch can flip at any time. I was with him yesterday, just going to his house to get his gear and shit so we could hit the road. And we're talking about wrestling. And we started talking about something he didn't like, so he started getting a little agitated there. And then the driver in front of us slows down, and they're fucking around. Now, Billy's straight pissed now. Like, he would have killed somebody. I saw, and like, he was pissed for probably a good hour. But if he's not that pissed off dude, the sweetest dude in the world, yeah, absolutely. It was cool. Like I say, yesterday we know it was super cool day for all of us.
I don't really have anybody in particular that I would say isn't, you know, just the nicest people.
Yeah.
Like, everybody that I'm around, you know, a lot is always such sweethearts. I mean, Jeff can be a little bit, he can rub you the wrong way. But, you know, once you get to know Jeff a little bit, you understand that he acts that way and he puts up that facade because he doesn't want to admit that he likes you or that he cares about you.
Yeah, there
So
you
he
go.
tries to be mean to you to balance it out a little bit.
Right on.
But I love Jeff to death. I love pretty much everybody around here, man. Just West Virginia's independent wrestling scene has probably the closest tight knit like crew.
Yep.
And it's really cool to see. It's just really cool.
And I'm really excited. It was so cool that Papa was there last night. It's so cool we brought in Tyler Jacks. It's like
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm
my
so
buddies
excited.
from down south are coming here.
Yeah. See, I think I was probably one of the first ones to do that for RSW.
Okay.
Because it was me and Logan, and I think everybody else on that show for my first show up there was like RSW guys.
Okay.
And then me and Logan came down, and then me and Logan and JD came down, which is Johnny Duff.
Okay.
And then, I see
we
Jeff
did get
popping
Duff
up.
back. It's been a minute. He was at the junior tournament.
Yeah, he was supposed to be there last night, but then like something happened, and then he had to change of plans like a couple days before or whatever, and like he just didn't get to come, and disappointing, but what can you do?
Have you ever had to miss a show, Willie Storm?
Yeah, I've had to miss quite a few.
Well, what was give me a reason you had to miss a show?
Well, I had to miss one show because I didn't get a ride.
Well, I feel it. Been there. Missed the show because I didn't get a ride. Jeff Paul.
Yeah, I didn't have a car at the time, and I still don't have a car. I have to have people take me places and stuff because I accidentally totaled the last one.
Accidentally totaled it. Let's go down that path. Well, what happened, Willie?
There was water in the road, and I didn't see the water.
Oh, did you hit a tree or flip it? What'd you do?
We just went in the water, and the car stalled out.
Oh, there was a lot of water.
Yeah, it was a good bit of water.
God damn, Willie. And let's tell the folks at home, we've been trying to do this for months. You're out in the middle of nowhere in West Virginia. Where are you in West Virginia?
I live in a little town in Dingus, West Virginia called 12 Pole.
And it does not have internet capable of live streaming video.
No, it is not that great. Like, I can send a message, and, like, the message might not go through for 5-6 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes it irritates the life out of me sometimes, because when you're trying to, like, do business with somebody and, like, talk over, Facebook or whatever to, like, get bookings, it gets frustrating.
I'm sure. So what do you got in your town? Do you got a gas station, a restaurant? What's going on?
We don't have anything.
Really? How far you got to go to get something?
The closest gas station is probably about 20 minutes from us.
Really?
Yeah. We have to drive completely out of town and into like the next town a little bit to get to the gas station.
Oh, Willie, how are you even wrestling without a car and living in a mountain in West Virginia? How's this happen?
My friends, pretty much. I had the friends that I've met through wrestling have been some of the most incredibly kind people that I've ever met in my life.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like they gotta go a little bits to get you. So what makes these bonds? Why do they love Willie Storm so much? They come up in this mountain to get him.
Well, mostly it's Logan. So me and Logan, we've been boys since we were able to go out freely and do stuff on our own, without having to ask our parents or whatever,
Right on.
We've been just really close friends. And he usually takes me to a lot of shows and stuff because we're tagging anyway, so might as well ride together too, that sort of deal.
Right on.
And then guys like Papa who, I might have to drive a little bit out farther to meet him, because I don't want to ask him to come all the way to get me. But like my papa or like one of my buddies from around my house will drive me up to meet him, and then he'll take me on and stuff. And like, yeah, they just incredibly kind and sweet human beings.
Yep, no doubt, man. Yeah, man, we definitely told the folks what the scene's about in West Virginia, and it's not just that. I mean, we're talking about how great the people are, and that's the main point. Let's get to the secondary point. How good the fucking wrestling is, dude. Like, who's killing it right now besides Willie Storm and Logan Taylor? And who's killing it?
So many people. I'm gonna try to avoid putting over the Cowboys because everybody knows, if you come to a wrestling show in West Virginia and the Cowboys are on it, we're going to do our best to put on a good show. So I'm going to try to avoid, all of the Cowboys.
Well, you didn't. You just literally put over the Cowboys. So you didn't.
Well, I got to brag a little bit.
Okay. Well, that's out of the way. Who else is good?
Right now, I have my eyes on a couple of the trainees down in PWL.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
I know a name you're going to say because I just watched this promo and I want to say it, but go ahead.
I feel like Big Black Carl and James Frost are going to be a big deal.
Yep.
They are going to be such a big deal, and I love those boys to death. They are some of the most, down-to-earth people, and they understand, they understand the business. So
okay. That helps.
They work as hard as they possibly can, and then they get in the ring and they bust ass, and it shows. It just shows.
Right. Obvious. Yeah, I've become a big fan of them. They're too good too soon.
Absolutely. And then Lane Cali is another one that's really, really good from down there.
That's who I was just talking about. We just watched the promo. I see he's facing Yella tonight. That's going to be so good. Somebody get me that footage, please.
Speaking of Yellow Man, another really good one is Yellow Man.
Yep.
He's been around for a long time, and he does not get near the credit that he deserves.
Yep.
Not near the credit. Yella has been there for me when nobody else wanted anything to do with me.
Yeah.
Even when everybody else was mad and, didn't want to talk to Willie Storm, didn't want Willie around, Yella he drove out of his way, him and Hunter and Hunter Heartless and Levi Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
They drove out of their way to go get me and take me all the way down to Boogie's school in Virginia.
Really?
Yeah, Boogie's wrestling camp. And then we went from Boogie's wrestling camp all the way up to Ricky Morton's school. So, we were doing all kinds of stuff, and Yellow was he was the one that was pushing for me to come with him.
That's all. Really tell me about that. So it sounds like all in one trip you hit both these schools?
Yeah. I went up. I'd already met Boogie previously,
mm-hmm.
and I don't know if Yella had talked to him beforehand or whatever about it, but I show up, and from the moment that I show up, he's got me in the ring doing stuff, and he's like, all right, now can you teach these he said, now can you show these kids how you guys lock up in West Virginia and how it's different from how we do it up here. It's stuff that was very small stuff that was different, but he wanted me to show those kids that, and I don't understand why he just didn't have Yella showing them, but I think he was trying to make me feel welcome, which was really cool.
Oh wow, that is neat. Hell yeah, another good Jimmy Valiant story. I need to get him on the podcast because everybody I have on here talks about how great he is.
Jimmy is such a sweet man, and he is it's weird. Jimmy is everyone's papa is how I see him.
Hell yeah, it sounds like it.
Anytime I see him, he runs up, gives me a hug, and he's dancing. And he's, how you doing, brother? How you doing? Tell me all about your day. He genuinely cares about everybody.
How cool! I love it. So you hit there. Then did you meet Ricky Morton at Morton's school?
No, I didn't meet Ricky Morton, but all of his head trainers was up there.
I got you.
So I'd actually been to Ricky Morton's school a couple times. The first time was for a James Storm seminar.
Oh, okay.
And that was really cool because obviously, I do a super kick. My last name's Storm. So, James Storm obviously was I'm a cowboy, he was one of my favorite TNA guys growing up.
Right.
So, getting to learn from him was really cool. And then the second time I went up there, it was just the head trainers and stuff, and we were doing TV tapings for School Morton.
Okay.
And it was rough. I gotta say, it was rough. They had me wrestling a guy named Koga.
Okay.
From Boogie School, and Koga kicked me in the head and hard-wayed me.
Oh, really?
And then I had to go 15 minutes after that and do a triple threat with Yella and a kid named Brandon Moore.
Oh shit!
So I was having a time up there, but it was fun. It was really fun.
You've made your rounds, and these so many years. I think, what, 4 years now? Almost 4 years? You've gotten
Not-
around, by God.
Not quite. I think it's not quite 3 years.
Got you.
Yeah, like, because I did do reffing and stuff, and then, like, on top of that, I didn't initially, like, get to do anything for, like, 2, maybe 3 months, because they were just trying to prep me for reffing.
Got you. Got you.
But, yeah, I've been wrestling a good bit now. Having a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, like I say, you've hit a lot of places. You're learning from a lot of great people, so that sharpens you up. You're in good shape, man. Have you been to a place where outside of West Virginia you just felt so different than what's going on over here and you felt out of your element?
I would say Connecticut, but Connecticut was RSW, so I felt at home, you know. Like RSW and PWL, those are like my home promotions for me, even though they're not anywhere near where I live.
Right.
Those are the guys, like, they always, anytime I'm in either one of those locker rooms, it's, you know, I'm with the boys. I'm with my family. And I guess the weirdest one was probably North Carolina for Evolution, or whatever that promotion's name is down there.
Okay.
They do, it's ran by the Amish guy.
Oh, I got you. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Danny Vegas, I think.
Right.
That one felt different, but it was probably just because I'd never been there before and didn't know a lot of the guys.
Right. Who'd you go down there with?
I went down there with Hunter. I ended up being a camera guy, actually, for that show.
Oh, okay. Tell me about running camera and how hellish that can be.
It was chaotic because I didn't know at all what I was doing. They said, "Hey, can you hold this camera?" I said, "Yeah, I can."
Welcome to my hell, buddy.
Yeah, it's the worst footage you could possibly imagine, I would assume. Like, I guarantee everything was shaky, because I'm really bad to, like, shake and stuff anyway.
I got you. Well, there's a path we'll go down. Let's talk about pro wrestling and how shit like that happens all the time. Like, if you're in the business, if you're a wrestler, referee, camera guy, you might get a different role. Like, that happens. Like, I might be timekeeping. What all have you done? What have you saw people have to do in emergency situations? Tell me about shit like that.
I wrestled and reffed on a show recently, the MVW show where we won the MVW tag titles.
Yeah, you reffed on that show too?
I reffed literally 3 matches on that show, and then came out in the main event and done a hardcore match for the tag titles.
I love it.
One of the matches was actually Logan's match, and I may have used some bias there and done a fast count on Brian Pauly, on Paul Bryant rather.
Oh man, Brian Pauly's a good dude.
He is a good dude, but he was trash talking Kanawha, and you can't trash talk the town you're in.
God bless it. So you ref 3 matches, and well, that's the perfect example then, by God.
But I've done all kinds of stuff. I've done everything from handing out flyers at the end of the show to running concession stand. That was the most chaotic thing I've done in wrestling.
Yeah?
Running concession stand. They put me and Talise Starseeker at ASW running concessions for multiple shows. It was a good string of like 10 shows.
Okay.
And every single show, we would run out of money, we would run out of food, we would run out of drinks. And, the fans, they don't blame Gary for that. They blame us.
Oh, shit. Because, that's ASW shows are the big shows with the big crowds, with the big names.
Yeah.
So you got people coming and buying shit.
Yeah, we've had, multiple people come up and we've had to tell them, like, hey, we just don't have food left. Or like, hey, you have to use exact change right now because we don't have any money. We don't have any.
What? That's been happening a lot lately. Not just the Garys. I saw it happen to VCW. They run out of hot dogs, pizza. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing because they stock up, bro. Like, there's a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's a really good thing. The promotion's making a lot of money when they do that.
Well, have you saw the changes in this short period of time you've been in? Because I really think, like, recently shit's blowing up. I don't think it's just me. Do you see the changes?
When I started wrestling, when I started going and training and stuff, everything felt kind of different than what it does now. because we still were trying to, like, I guess people in the area were still trying to find out who they wanted around and who they didn't anymore.
Yeah.
Because, so a lot of those guys that aren't around now were around then, and they just, and everything was coming back from COVID, and just like a lot of the, a lot of the weirdos and creeps and stuff was still running around, and that didn't last too long.
Yeah, that shit
didn't last too long at all.
And then, I mean, shit goes down, people are gone, and now, like, everybody's, not everybody, but people are starting to work together, and, hey, I never said this about you, well, he said this, and...
Yeah.
I don't see any drama recently.
There's not really. Mostly, if people have a problem with somebody, especially, like, with me anymore, if I have a problem with somebody, I'm just going to tell them. Like, hey, like, we got to work this out, because I'm not. And that's, I don't know. I've gotten to a point with my life, personally, where I just don't want to deal with it anymore. I just don't want to, you know what I mean? I don't want to have the beef. I don't want to go back and forth with people. I just like, hey, I'm mad about something, and then we talk it out, and then it's over.
Right on.
I'm done with the other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we got into this. Wrestling's supposed to be fun, We're here to have fun and have a good time, so let's do it.
And like, there's just no point in stressing yourself out over any of it, because like, at the end of the day, we're all wrestling fans. Like, we're all, even though we're in the ring doing it, we're all wrestling fans. So why are we like starting problems within wrestling? Because that's just going to make wrestling worse.
Yep. And I think, like I say, in our area, I think it's getting a lot better. Everybody's on point. It's hitting What about Kincaid and Vance Desmond last night? Holy shit.
Jason Kincaid and Vance Desmond both are like two of the best wrestlers around in general. Like, not even in the state of West Virginia. They're just the best.
Yeah.
Like, in general. And anytime you have those two guys on the card, whatever match they're in is going to be fantastic.
Yep.
But to have them in a match against each other, you are just asking for a 5-star match. Like, it's just, it's determined to be a 5-star match before it's ever even thought of,
And the thing is, you might even been at the show. They tried to have this match, another company did, months ago, and something happened to somebody in the crowd where paramedics had to come in. They had to stop the match, so they never got to finish that match.
I don't think I was at that show.
No, I just know you're everywhere, so I assumed you would be there.
Yeah, I don't think I was there. But it doesn't surprise me that they have tried that match before.
Right.
Yeah, because if I was booking around here, if I looking at the names that I have available to me, like, those are two of the guys that I would want.
Who's some other
running my company,
Right. Who's some other West Virginia legends?
People love to hate him, but it's Johnny Blast for sure.
Oh yeah, like, you're gonna put Johnny Blast out there on WrestleRoni.
Don't tell Benny I put him over. But yeah, I love Walter, dude. Walter is like, a lot of people say that Walter can be hateful, but I've never had any experience with Walter where he's been hateful.
Really?
He's always been a really good dude to me.
Hell yeah.
He was actually my first ever singles match.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got to wrestle him at PWL in my first ever singles match, and I beat him up for 5 minutes, and then he hit me with an X Factor and pinned me.
Sounds simple enough for your first match. I dig it.
Yeah, I mean, he gave me a lot, way more than I deserved at the time. Like, he really wanted to put me over as, like, this kid is going to do something,
Hell yeah. Well, good on Johnny Blast. Willie Storm, we're in the final 10 minutes, sir. Actually, the final 8. In the final 10 minutes, I give my guests the opportunity to put their socials out there, slang their merch, where you going to be, how you going to be, words of wisdom, words of advice, whatever you want to put out there. Just, you have at it, sir.
I mean, first off, I guess follow me on Facebook at Outlaw Willie Storm, or you can just add my profile. You'll see it attached to the page. And then on Instagram, you can find me, I think, at Outlaw Willie Storm. And then Twitter is Real Willie Storm.
Get on
So
it. Give him a follow.
Yeah, those are all the socials.
While we're on that, Willie, real fast, thank you all the time. You're sharing the links. You're sharing the stuff for the channel. Thank you, sir. It's appreciated more than
I do my very best to contribute in any way that I can.
Well, you do, and you do, and it's appreciated. I see you.
I hate that I've taken so long to actually get on the podcast because I was getting on your nerves a little bit, I feel.
I give you hell. I give you hell because I love you. You haven't gotten on my nerves. Willie Storm, you see how many guests I have on this podcast? I told you from the jump street, I said, it'll be here. It's going nowhere. We'll get you on. And here we are. I think you're episode 124, 123 or something.
Dude, you're killing it. You are killing it.
I'm a fucking
WrestleRoni
monster.
has gotten so much bigger than anyone would have thought a couple years ago. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody would have been like, I want to do this podcast and just interview guys from like the local area and like just post matches and stuff, nobody would have gave it the time of day. Not a single person would have. But the fact that you're doing it and you're killing it, it's really cool.
Thank you, man. I think the timing's right, the talent's right. So I said it last year. It's a perfect storm, and it's fucking happening, just like I said. So that makes me proud. And it's guys like you, man. It's personalities. It's different people. And we finally got Willie Storm on the damn podcast, and we picked his brain a little bit. Any words of wisdom that you can give to up-and-coming wrestlers or even interested fans? What can you let them know, Willie?
For up-and-coming wrestlers, quit. There's more room for me.
Oh, no.
No, I'm kidding. For up-and-coming wrestlers, I would say just, like, pay your dues. And, you know, soak in as much knowledge as you can while you're not actually, like, wrestling. Because when you start actually wrestling and getting out there, you'll have a lot more information thrown at you. And you don't want to spend that time playing catch-up.
Ah, that's a good point.
And then for fans wanting to get into wrestling or anything else that they're wanting to get into, you only have one life on this earth, as far as, we know. Yep. You only have one life. And if you spend your life doing something that you hate and you never try to do the thing that you love, then that's entirely your fault. So, like, if you possibly can, follow your dreams no matter what they might be. Because you'll never know. Because look at me. I'm a dumb kid from West Virginia out here living my dream being a pro wrestler and, like, hanging out with, like, some of the coolest people that I've ever met in my life and, guys that have been on TV and legends and just everyone, It's a wild experience. And just do that for yourself, please.
I appreciate that. I can relate 110%. Small town West Virginia, here we are having a blast. And like you said, not just the legends, the people you meet along the way, yourself, Paparazzi, Nova, Casper, Billy Knox, Odessa Knox. We could go on forever of all the great people. We could probably do an hour podcast just naming names.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude.
Yeah, look at us go.
Just in general, there's so many good people around West Virginia, and I hate that, we get stereotyped so much into this, like, one role of everybody in West Virginia is hateful and set in their ways and stuff. They're not like that. Everybody that I'm around is not like that,
Well, like I say, it's folks like yourself through WrestleRoni. We're showing the world what's up in West Virginia. Pretty interesting story today, Willie Storm. A kid in the mountains. Folks love him enough to go pick him up. And he's on every fucking show around West Virginia for every company. Willie Storm, we have an amazing week coming up this week. We got Jeff Paul and Gangrel in the Hearst match. We got Ron Mathis coming up. We got Nurse Micah coming up. We got a huge name that I will announce soon. I'm sure we'll probably have Marcus Twist on. I tell you what we're going to do, Willie. We're going to drop the vlog footage by itself, separate from last night's show. Okay? That'll be one video. That'll be a little compendium to the big deal. Tim hit me up last night. He said, why don't you just put all the matches together and call it Spooky Lou's birthday something or other? And I was like, dude, I actually thought of that, but I didn't want to take anything away from RSW. He said, make it RSW Presents So it's going to be RSW presents Spooky Lou's Birthday Bash Extravaganza with all the great matches from last night in their entirety. We even have special guest commentary on there, Willie Storm.
Oh,
You excited yet?
You saying
Are
that
you able to
Spooky
watch
Lou?
it up in the mountains?
yeah, I'm gonna watch it. Are
Oh,
you
you're
saying
able-
that Spooky Lou's gonna be on commentary?
Oh, no, I'm not on commentary. No, we have a guest coming in from Thursday Night Fights up MV Young's way. You'll see.
Okay.
We
Yeah,
got many surprises. We're going to keep celebrating all week long because I got all this footage. I'll
heck
watch you
yes.
get your ass whooped, Willie Storm.
They did absolutely beat the brakes off me.
You'll
Dude,
see.
there's a place on my neck right now, and it's a bruise that goes all the way from like the back of my head all the way around and over towards this ear. I don't know what it's from, but it's so sore today.
Do you have any final words, Willie Storm?
I mean, just be good people. Like, go out and experience life and have fun and just be good people.
Exactly. How do we end every show? We say treat each other with kindness and respect and go out there and live your dreams. I think there's something else we say, but do those things anyway.
I think the other thing that we say is, fuck Jeff Paul.
Oh, yeah. Fuck Jeff Paul.
Yeah.
Fuck him. We're out of here. It's been another wonderful WrestleRoni. Stay tuned. So much good stuff coming up. We're on such a ridiculous roll. It's so crazy. And it's because of y'all. We love y'all. See you again real soon.